Welcome back, everyone! This is Jurenitis, bringing you Just One Line. Today we're starting on part 3. Last part, we participated in a barroom brawl instead of stopping it. We learned that getting drunk is a really good thing for finishing missions. And today we're going to continue on, so let's get right back to it. I've got Enchanted Waters and Laments in the Cemetery. Visitors been terrorized by a spine chilling them and okay, so I've got Ghosts or Poisoned Waters. You know what? Let's just do the Poisoned Waters. I should be able to. Oh wait, no, I don't want to accept a quest yet. I want to get drunk. I keep forgetting I want to get drunk. I've got 170 bucks, so +2 to everything, +4 to health. This as well, and that leaves me with. Oh, I have 30 more. Yeah, sure. 2 more attack. What's the worst? No. Let's just save the money. No, let's get the attack. Okay, so the consumables in this game are really, really powerful. Okay, Enchanted Waters. I, Jean Bow, Druid of the Circle of the Woodland Keepers, invoke the help of an adventurer to recover information regarding the recent barbaric and inconsiderate poisoning of the waters of this earth. Let's go. After hours of walking through several trails in the forest, you stop to recover in a glade. That druid didn't give you a very detailed description of the meeting spot. You're thinking of which area of the forest you should search next when a tall figure cloaked in a cape of leaves approaches you gracefully. You must be the adventurer I asked for. I am Jean Bow, Druid of the Circle of the Woodland Keepers. Follow me, there is much to be done, and you are already late. Oh, don't okay, no, it's fine. We're gonna be fine, let's just follow him. On your way, Jean Bow tells you the origin of the problem. Some time ago, 2 foolish creatures came here to prepare a love potion. They were successful but clumsy, and irresponsibly spilled it into the river that spans through the whole Rain. Such carelessness created an imbalance in the natural order of things. Now, every insect, plant, or creature in its vicinity grows and proliferates at an exaggerated rhythm. So, how is this a problem? This is causing problems in some areas where the river flows. The elf pauses before going on. The swamp, as you may know, is an example of these areas. Clearly, everyone is pointing at us keepers as the ones responsible for this disaster, and while not even remotely involved, we are called upon to solve the matter. Meanwhile, you sense the sound of flowing water. You've arrived near the river. There, take a look with your own eyes at the result of such stupidity. The river flows beneath you. From here you can see its banks infested with a myriad of aquatic plants, masses of putrefying fish and frogs, and clouds of insects buzzing over them. Imbalance and its consequences, says Jean Bow in a sorrowful tone. What you need to do is simple. Find the witch that prepared the potion and ask her which components she used to prepare it. Well, that seems simple enough. This way it'll be much easier for us to prepare a restoration potion. Now, let's not waste any more precious time. Okay. Where can we find the witch? The directions are clear this time, and you manage to arrive at the witch's house, a simple and isolated hut. You're about to knock on the door when you hear excited shouting coming from inside. You recognize a female voice and 2 male voices. You knock with purpose. The voices abruptly cease. Then you hear soft steps approaching. A young man opens the door. He's wearing a long plain robe. His face is tense, but when you say you're here to see the witch, he relaxes. The female voice invites you in. The young man moves aside to let you through. Inside you find another man wearing a tunic, but more elaborate and with several embroidered scribbles, and a mid-aged woman, which must be the witch. Then the 2 men, probably mages, leave without saying a word, closing the door behind them. Okay. I wonder if I was a mage that I could actually... If I unlocked a mage character, maybe I could have come in here and been like, "Hey guys, I'm a mage too." Who knows. You explain the whole story to the woman, particularly the part where the druids need to know the reagents used to create the elixir. Begins laughing the witch. So those despicable elves want my help. Well, they can forget it. Where are they every time a farmer or shepherd is in trouble? They never deign to help us poor folk that live near the forest. Let them solve the problems on their own. The woman is quite furious. If you made the potion, then you are the problem. We will solve you. Okay, so let's see. Promise that if she helps you, you'll convince the druids to be more helpful regarding the dwellers of the area. plead for her help, deceive her, or threaten her. Let's just plead for her help. You can weep all you want, it won't work with me. You've no idea how many poor souls come to me asking for potions without a coin in their pocket. The woman slowly shakes her head. You'll have to persuade her some other way. Well, I think... Oh, I'm definitely not returning to him. That's just basically saying I quit the quest. You don't want to threaten a witch, but deceiving her is not that good. Promise her if she helps you, you'll convince the druids to be more helpful regarding the dwellers of the area. The woman looks at you interested. Could you really do that? She asks with a crackly voice. With the most serious tone you can muster, you tell her that you'll do everything in your power to better the situation, which is not a lie. It just means I don't have any power. The witch ponders for a little. Very well, she finally says, but know that I will remember this promise, so don't try to trick me. I mean, I'm promising to do everything in my power. Just if I have absolutely no power, then whatever. It doesn't mean anything. The main ingredient is mandrake. I obtain an infusion which is the base of the elixir. After that, I added some other ingredients, but I can't reveal everything. You insist a little, but the woman stands firm. Tell her that once this matter is solved, you'll pay her handsomely for the names of the other ingredients. I only have $10, but maybe? The witch doesn't agree with her proposition. If you had the gold, you would have brought it with you. I'm not stupid, and you already have what you wanted, so get out, says the woman in a loud voice, while pushing you outside the door and then shutting it in your face. Well, this isn't working out very nicely. I guess we'll have to go on back. Let's make our way out of here. Once you arrive at the forest, you make camp in a glade, waiting for the elf. Jean Beau appears a few minutes after your arrival. Well, do you have the names of the reagents used by the witch? He asks without even greeting you. This guy's not very considerate. You report what you learn from the witch, but the elf understands something's missing even before you say it. That is all? It's not possible, he says impatiently, but after all, I was expecting it. We must resort to our backup plan. I have found a few areas of the forest particularly affected by this messed up concoction. You will go to these areas and take a sample from the plants most affected by the elixir. You will not find it difficult to identify these plants, and be wary not to damage anything else in the forest. Remember, this is a sacred place. The elf describes the plants to look for and where to find them, after which he wishes you luck and leaves. Okay, so I need a mushroom and some nettle. Let's get the mushroom. I don't know what the difference between the two is going to be, since we probably need both. You follow the river until you reach the humid cavern described by Jean Beau. You make your way in, sinking your feet into a few centimeters of water, coated by some sort of nauseating opaque ooze. Yummy. Also, you find the mushroom described by the druid there. Wait a minute. If he already knows about the mushroom, why is he sending us... Okay, so he says he needs mushroom and nettle, but he can describe the mushroom perfectly? Why didn't he just come here himself? Some release a shower of spores, which form a coating as they set on the water. Okay, sure. Let's just go get the sample. You cautiously take a few steps towards one of the bigger ones and begin to cut off a piece. You're careful not to shake it too much so that it doesn't release too many spores into the air. You've no idea what effect they might have, so better not risk it. Once the task is completed, you leave with the sample with the same level of caution. Okay, well, let's go to get the nettle then. This seems incredibly simple. You advance along the river until you reach a large rock. From here, you divert towards the left, I guess towards the left of the rock, until you reach an area with sparse trees. See, I would have said you divert northward or something like that. Surrounded by thick underwood, an extremely dense underwood, to be honest, clearly overdeveloped. Exactly the place described by Jean Beau. You locate the bigger plants around the middle, the ones the elf recommended to harvest. Okay, let's make my way through and get the taller plants. You push forward to the underwood until you reach the giant plants. You're in an intricate tangle of shrubs and grass almost up to your chest when you hear some slight rustling around you. You're certain it wasn't you who caused it. Oh, that's really disturbing. Gather the sample, mow the underwood around you, go back to where the underwood is less thick. Let's mow the underwood. You begin to hit the vegetation around you, clearing the area. It is only now that you realize you're surrounded by ants as big as your finger. The room you made will also let you keep an eye on them and squash them if they get too close. Well, that's good. Well, gather a sample. Okay, gather the sample while watching the ants. You definitely cut off part of the plant, being wary not to let the little creatures crawl on you. Once finished, you quickly withdraw. Well, cool. That worked. Alright, so we get back to the glade. The elf shows up. Know that I saw the way you behaved in the forest. Your actions will be reported back to the circle, says the elf before even reaching you. Let me see these samples that caused so much pain in the forest. Is he mad that I mowed down the area so I could see the ants? Whatever, here, take the samples. Excellent work, just what I asked for, says the elf with a hint of satisfaction. Here's your reward. Thank you. I thank you in the name of the Circle of the Woodland Keepers. You may go. Who immediately turns and heads for the trees. Let's tell him about the promise we made to the witch. I mean, I did say I would, so... You stop the elf before he disappears to tell him about the witch's request. She revealed one of the ingredients in exchange for a friendlier treatment to the population surrounding the forest. I should be friends with every foolish race that comes to butcher our forest just because one of them helped me to solve a disaster that she herself created. Is that what you're telling me? That is kind of what I'm telling him, but I honestly kind of agree with him. No, honestly, I'm with him. She caused the problem. I shouldn't try to be helping her. Honestly, his reasoning isn't so absurd, and in the end, this doesn't change anything for you. You've got your reward. You give your regards to the elf and return to the inn. Sweet! That was cool. With you around, the rain is secure even from ecological threats. You're quite an exemplary adventurer. Oh, cool. So I got $100. I got plus 18 to the Woodland Keepers. Still haven't unlocked anything new, though. I'm disappointed. I want to unlock new stuff. Oh dear. Does that mean the only option I have left is going to the graveyard? Oh no, cool. We've got a missing child, laments in the cemetery, and the dragon. Oh, this sounds really good. Alright, so I thought about it, and we're going to save the dragon for last. That being said, I think I need to stop worrying about ghosts quite so much. So let's go ahead and go and deal with laments in the cemetery. The visitors have been terrorized by spine-chilling lamentations the last few days, even during the day. Looking for adventurer willing to take care of the situation. Okay, so let's go visit a cemetery, I guess. You arrive at the cemetery as the sun begins to set. The massive gates are open, so you make your way through, leaving the tall boundary walls behind. This is the biggest, most ancient cemetery in the Rain. It looks more like a park with all its vegetation and architectural structures. Only the nobles and leading figures of the court are buried here, or anyone rich enough to afford a tomb here. You proceed on the gravel road until you arrive at the caretaker's hut. Well, let's look around, see if we see anything interesting. Statues of ancient heroes, majestic mausoleums, simple tombstones in the ground. Judging by this, everything seems normal. You don't hear any laments or even see the immense chasm in the ground you've heard about. The caretaker will know more about it. The immense chasm in the ground, like right there. How can you not see that? Okay, whatever, let's knock on the door. An old bald man with a crooked back opens the door. You're here for the lamentations job, am I right? He says, eyeing you. You nod. Come inside. The hut is dark and dusty, perfectly in tone with the cemetery. You take a seat and the caretaker immediately explains the problem. It's a common thing to hear faint laments or even feel immaterial presences, but since the chasm opened up, the situation has gotten terribly worse. There's the spirit of a woman in particular that emits excruciating shrieks during the night. I've been doing this job for years, so I'm used to it, but now that she's began screaming even during the daytime, she's been scaring off all the visitors. I've no intention of getting close to her. I've only been able to learn that her name is Amita. I'll show you the area where she usually appears, so you may do what you deem necessary. Okay, well, what about the chasm? Since it suddenly opened up, what can you tell me about that? It appeared a few months ago. It swallowed up the central area of the cemetery, along with the old caretaker, apparently. I'm his successor, but didn't he just say he's been doing this for a while? Okay. He got used to the shrieks over the years, but a few months ago, maybe he was in training for years, and now he's actually in charge. I don't know. Nobody gets close, and they're right not to. Just looking at it gives you the chills. But worry not, our bothersome spirit isn't in that area, says the old man, smiling. Okay, well, where do we find her, then? He says you can find her near a big mausoleum close by. You can wait for nightfall here, as the spirit always comes out at night. You chat a little more until you begin to hear the lamentations. There she is, on time as usual. The caretaker walks you to the door and shows you the way to the mausoleum and then waves you off. You make your way towards your destination and arrive a few minutes later. On top of the mausoleum stairs sits an ethereal figure, slightly luminescent and despairing. Okay, let's see. Well, I don't know. It'd be rude to ask her what her problem is before asking who she is. My name is Amita. I'm an unlucky woman who has lost her loved one. I cannot find his spirit, moans the wraith, sobbing. She looks like a woman past her youth with long curly hair that falls onto her chest. Okay, well, what's your problem? My love, I cannot find my love. He died some time ago, and we had promised to find each other in the afterlife. But his remains must be too far away. I cannot find him. I beg you, bring him to me. Okay, so if you're buried in different places, you can't find each other in the eternity of undeath? That's okay, whatever. What do you need me to... Well, I'm assuming she's going to want me to find his remains, but let's see. What do you need me to do? Her gaze lights up. Find his remains and bring them to the ossuary. Oh, gee, I didn't see that one coming. This way we will finally be close, and I will be able to find him. His name is Gent. He was the offspring of a small noble family of the Rain. I am sure you will not have any problem finding him. After pronouncing these words, the spirit slowly vanishes into thin air. You return to the caretaker and report what you learned from the wraith. Done already? Asks the old man, amazed. You explain the spirit's request, and the caretaker has no objections. Nobody will get angry if we move a pile of bones. Follow me, let's find out where this Gent is buried. You know, he says that no one will get angry if you move a pile of bones, but what about the family? I mean, the whole point of the cemetery is... Well, I mean, if the tombstone's there, they won't know he's been moved. I mean, not his remains anyway. I don't know, it just seems a bit... messing with dead people's remains is... I don't know, we'll have to see how this goes. The caretaker leads you towards a small closet. There are huge tomes on top of shelves, high up on the walls. These are the cemetery logbooks. All of our guests are written down here, he says, giggling. In a corner, you notice a broken glass case, the pieces still scattered on the floor. What's with the broken glass case? That? I don't know. It was like that when I came here. And no, those pieces of glass on the floor aren't bugging anyone. They don't pay me to clean up this place. I'm just a guardian, he says good-naturedly. Okay, dodging the question, or maybe he doesn't even really know. The caretaker approaches one of the shelves and grabs an old, dusty tome. He puts it onto a table in the middle of the room and begins searching. Take a seat, it'll take some time to find him, only having a name at my disposal. You sit down and wait patiently. In the meantime, you look around and browse through the big tomes that surround you. Pages and pages of names and stories. Ask how many people are buried here, keep waiting. You know, I'm not, well... Maybe how many people are buried here will make a difference. I mean, whatever, let's just ask him. Thousands, at least, and all rich people, heroes or great nobles. Well, more or less, I suppose. There's always someone who manages to obtain a spot here, some way or another. There's competition and envy even after death, the caretaker explains. One of which is our friend Gent. His name doesn't ring a bell, as the old man, continuing his search. Here he is, shouts the caretaker after searching for almost an hour. His tomb is in the outskirts of the cemetery. Those are the cheaper spots, he continues, while hastily reading his biography. Ah, stabbed to death, and at a young age as well. What a shame. The old man closes the book and asks you to follow him. He picks up the necessary tools to exhume the corpse, and you make your way to the tomb. You quickly find the property of Gent's family, a small piece of land enclosed by an elaborate fence. Various tombstones fill the ground, some of which with little sculptures on top, others with a slab of rock placed horizontally to protect the coffin below. You find the name you were looking for on one of these. Written on the epitaph, divided by death, united by it, G and L. The caretaker begins to work on the tomb. Okay, divided by death, united by it, G and L. Okay, so Gent and L? L? I don't know, I mean, Amita was talking about him, but, I mean, L could be a mother, a father, a sister, I mean, who knows? Let's look at the other tombstones, see if we get another name. As you look around, your eyes fall onto the tomb next to Gent's. It's quite simple, just a tombstone and a name, Lin. You look at Gent's epitaph once more, G and L. Could it be referring to Gent and Lynn? Though you don't believe she's part of the family, you wonder why her grave is here. Why would you believe she's not part of the family? There's no evidence to support that. You quickly survey the other tombstones, but that's the only name that looks out of place. Your thoughts are interrupted by the caretaker, who calls out for your help on removing the heavy stone slab. So, why would her name look out of place? Well, the game's telling me her name looks out of place, so I guess we're gonna just assume that her name is out of place. Let's help the caretaker.
Hi, people! Now you're tempted to leave that in there.
Actually, I probably will.
Oh, shit.
Together, you manage to move aside the massive slab that encloses Gent's tomb. What you find surprises you. No coffin, just an empty hole. Well, that's a bad sign. The caretaker is speechless and moves his lantern a little closer to shed more light. You see a large opening on one of the sides, which looks like an entrance to a tunnel. Now I understand, the old man intimates with a solemn tone. It has to be the ghouls' handiwork. Those Bon Nors took more bodies. Okay, so we've got ghouls that steal bodies to eat them, I guess? That seems odd. Okay, well, what about the ghouls? What's the details on them? They appeared shortly after the chasm. I saw one during one of my first nights here dragging a coffin. I thought it was a violator of graves, but when I got closer, I noticed its bruised skeletal body and a face similar to a skull with a ferocious expression. I ran away before it could grasp me with those skeletal fingers. I warned the nearest temple, but they still haven't done anything apart from a few inspections. Okay, so we've got essentially undead monsters stealing corpses and, I guess, eating them? And nobody's bothering to do anything about it. Well, I think I'm going to do something about it. Maybe. We'll see. I'm almost certain they have an underground hideout. I haven't seen one in a long time, but the bodies keep disappearing. You gaze upon the empty tomb a little longer. What do you intend to do? Well, it makes sense that he hasn't seen them. There's a cave... Well, there's a tunnel leading out of the tomb, so they're obviously doing their work underground so they won't be seen anymore. You know what? I'm a hunter. Let's just drop down into the hole and venture through the tunnel. What's the worst that can happen? You tell the caretaker to go home. You'll go down in the tunnel and find the ghouls that plundered Gent's remains, after which you'll return to him. The old man seems a little worried, but doesn't insist. After all, you're the adventurer. He slowly vanishes as you light a torch and begin wandering through the tunnel. Oh, this could end badly, but let's see what happens. After a little while, you see some light in front of you. You must be close to the ghouls. You take a peek around the corner and spot two skeletal figures muttering between themselves. Okay, well, they can talk at least, so I mean, well, they're muttering. I assume they can talk. They're in some sort of excavated room in the ground, from which spread several other passages. You see some coffins stacked all around them, scarcely illuminated by some candles in the corners of the room. Gent's coffin is probably one of the face them head on or wait for the right moment to surprise them. Well, I mean, I am an archer. Let's see. Maybe we'll actually get to use a ranged attack. Let's wait for the right moment. You wait patiently for an opportunity, which doesn't take long to arrive. One of the ghouls wanders off while the other one begins poking around one of the coffins facing away from you. One wanders off. If I kill it... No, let's capture it for interrogation. I mean, heck, why not? You leave your hiding place and swoop towards the undead. You grab it firmly, and while it wriggles, you order it to tell you where Gent's body is. The ghoul is frightened, and while shaking, indicates a row of coffins against the wall. Okay, so it's a ghoul, but it seems sentient. So it can talk, it can understand, but it's still a ghoul. I mean, I'm here to help a dead person find peace, but if this ghoul is an undead person, would killing it not be going against what I'm supposed to be doing? I don't know. Knock it out. I don't think knocking it out... You know what? We're gonna let it go, and if it turns on us, we'll kill it then. I mean, we should be fine. Let's just let it go. Now that you have what you're looking for, you don't need this ghoul. It doesn't seem like a threat, so you let it go. It runs away in a flash as soon as it's free. You quickly inspect the coffins in the room, looking for Gent, until you finally find one with his name carved on it. They actually carved the names on the coffins themselves? I mean, the tombstone, fine, but the coffin? They must expect coffins to be stolen at some point. I don't know. Seems strange. You open it up to make sure his remains are still there. Ghouls are greedy for bones. Afterwards, you drag it with some effort to the grave and heave it onto the surface. It's time to go back to the caretaker. Okay, well, that worked out all right. No zombies are trying to gnaw my knees off, so that's fine. The caretaker is happy that you've recovered the coffin. Good, now let's go to the ossuary, so this story may end once and for all. Though it'll be best not to tell the family we've moved him here, as it's not a very prestigious place. Well, you just said a little bit ago that moving his bones no one would care, so... But now you're saying we gotta keep it a secret. Make up your mind. Bring Gent's remains to the ossuary, investigate on Amita, ask about the ossuary. Well, it said G and L, and Amita is not an L, but she said that... You know, let's just investigate on her. Maybe we'll get something out of it. Alright, let's see what there is to know about her, says the caretaker. The old man flips through the dusty tomes for quite some time. You're about to lose hope when finally the old man exults, satisfied. While he reads, his look darkens a little. This explains why she was buried in the ossuary, he says, raising his sight. She was a noble woman but disgraced herself after committing a homicide. I don't like where this is going. The caretaker goes quiet as he reads the next paragraph. Oh, you'll never imagine who her victim was. Gee, I wonder if it was Gent. None other than that Gent we exhumed. She stabbed him 12 times? By the god, what a tragedy. Afterwards, she was imprisoned and executed and buried here, obviously. The old man closes the book and looks at you, waiting for you to say something. Oh dear. Okay, so... She stabbed him to death and then was then executed. She can't find him in the afterlife to try to apologize? I mean, I guess if he's already dead, I mean, what's the worst she can do? Let's bring Gent's remains to the ossuary. She can apologize and we can go put him back in his tomb. It'll be fine, right? This totally isn't the way this goes, but I remain hopeful. You load the coffin into a cart and make your way towards the ossuary. The structure is imposing. As the caretaker opens the heavy doorway, you're overwhelmed by cold, humid air. You begin descending this noiseless abyss, transporting Gent's remains to an empty cavity. You carefully lay down the coffin, then the caretaker asks, "What now?" As soon as he finishes the phrase, the spirit of Amita appears. The old man leaps in fear. There, I finally sense him. Thank you for your help. May the goddess bless you. Okay, so make her promise not to torment anyone any longer, then leave. Ask her why she is looking for the man she murdered. Yeah, I want to know. Amita seems surprised for a moment. You know? She hesitantly asks. You tell her about the logbooks and ask her again. It does not concern you. Know only that I have my reasons, she answers, annoyed. I do not think that... Oh gosh, this is going to end so badly. I did not think you would have investigated. I admire your shrewdness and the fact that you brought Gent to me despite knowing the truth. I want you to have this gift. The caretaker seems alarmed by her words and pulls one of your arms. He whispers, "It's never a good thing to receive a gift from the dead." You know, let's just live on the edge. What? Yes, my wonderful ghost, what gift do you have for me? Oh, uh-oh, what happened? Amita makes her way towards you and kisses you on the lips. You don't feel any contact, only freezing cold and a shortage of breath. Then comes the pain. Oh, this is just wonderful. You fumble for a moment, clinging onto the caretaker, making an effort not to fall, and trying to catch your breath. "I told you," yells the old man. Well, I mean, he did tell us, but, I mean, he wasn't doing anything useful, so, well, whatever. You slowly recover, and when you look around, Amita is nowhere to be seen. You and the custodian go back to the ossuary, then you take your reward and go back to the inn. Okay, so I thought I gained something there. Let's see. Mission accomplished! Yay! Ah, we gained 1 wit. Okay, I don't know how... Hey! New background! Oh, cool, we've unlocked a cleric. Awesome! I've been wanting to unlock new stuff. So now I can be a white mage. Neat! We got plus 20 to the temple, and that's probably why I unlocked the cleric, and I got $50. Sweet! You know, for a visit to a cemetery, that wasn't actually that bad. Wait a minute, we only had 3 before, and now we still have 3. Missing child. More uh-oh. The situation is getting worse. The lamentations in the cemetery are even louder now. You must come back and help me. But she was happy. Why? And the dragon. Great. Okay. Well, unfortunately, we are left with a very big decision to make. So, we have unlocked the cleric as one of the playable characters now. I'm not sure exactly how I managed to do that. Maybe it was just the cemetery quest all along. So the question is, do I continue playing and take a chance of losing said unlock? Because if I die, then I lose my cleric unlock. Or if I retire now, then that saves the cleric unlock and I can start a new character as a cleric. Honestly, I kind of want to play forward, but I don't want to take a chance of losing the cleric, since I really wanted to unlock a new thing. What should we do? Well, you know what? We've been playing on the edge. Let's get drunk and go fight a dragon. That sounds like a fun thing, right? Let's see. 60 bucks, give me +2 to everything. Let's see. Here, we're going to fight a dragon, so we're going to need more health. Yep, more attack would be a good thing to have as well, and why not some damage resistance. We are broke and drunk as hell, so let's go play with a dragon. You reach the coast and embark on an orc ship. It is squared, has a flat bottom. This way we can head up the river. Godude, the captain of the ship and the leader of the orcs, tells you. He is an orc with a thick white beard and bald head. He introduces you to the orcs. We cannot fight together if we do not even know each other, he yells at you as soon as you embark. Okay, that's fine. The other orcs do not seem interested in your arrival. Some do not bother glancing. Godude stops in front of the big cage full of screaming goblins, each one leaning against another. After a few swings with the club on the cage bars, the rabble gets quiet. Goblins, all they do is make noise, he says with half a smile. Okay, what's the deal with the goblins? He tells you the gangs searching the swamp always take spare goblins with them. The lizard men are particularly gluttonous around them. Feeding the lizard men is the only alternative to fighting them. No one would miss a few goblins anyway, especially now that they're all over Kingdom Hills. Oh dear. You know, we're just going to stay out of this one. We're not going to be outraged or praised. Let's just, glaze over that one and ask about the lizard men. Well, actually, no. You know what? We're going to say it was a good idea because, we like the orcs. We're fighting with them. And we want them to think that we're on their side. So praise the orc strategy. When it comes to war, no one is more skilled than a bloody sail, Godude utters with a satisfied look on his face. What else do you want to know? Well, let's ask about the lizard men. Apparently they have a taste for goblins. The leader tells you they are like orcs, but they are shaped like lizards with mouths full of fangs, slimy and scaled skin, no brain, primitive and stinky. They have haunted the swamp for a long time, and they are a constant danger to nearby cities. They breed incredibly fast, so quickly we cannot exterminate them, he finally says with pride. Orcs have proven their match in battle. Why are you feeding them instead of fighting them if you already have a problem with their overpopulation? Okay, I can't ask that question, so let's ask about the dragon. We have to blame those pointed ears from the forest. They placed some spell on the river and have woken it up. Oh. That might be the Poisoned Waters quest that I did, because that was the... Yeah. He explains to you that the Woodland Keepers admitted to being responsible, but rather than warning the kingdom about the appearance of dragons, they brought up the topic of local fauna growth. Ah. Okay. So... I wonder if I had done the Dragon quest first, if that would affect the way the Poisoned Waters quest would have gone. Because they are talking about waking up the dragon. I wonder if we could have yelled at the elf for waking up the dragon. Ah, that's interesting. Oh well, ask about the mission. The king charges Godude and his men to drive the dragon away from the swamp or kill it if necessary. It is causing trouble for the nearby cities. For now, it devours the livestock. Well, if you could make it have a taste for lizard men, then you wouldn't have to worry about the overpopulation of lizard men, and you would not have to worry about a hungry dragon. So yeah, let's capture a lizard man and feed it to the dragon. But soon it could begin eating people and destroying caravans and villages. You don't joke with dragons, the leader says with a serious tone. Well, I just did. Okay, why are they sending in just one team? Say goodbye and wait for the journey's end. Sure, why are they sending in just one team? Because when a little human sees a dragon, he runs. An orc, on the other hand, fights. Godude continues his monologue about an orc's strength and courage. He barely hints at the Treaty of Four Races. Everybody knows the treaty allows orcs to enter the kingdom in exchange for their savagery against the lizard men. The emergency of a dragon is clearly one of their duties. You thank Godude for the conversation and go below deck to set your things beside a free cot. You hope it is going to be a brief journey. Yeah, it might be too brief, if you know what I mean. After a couple of days, so much for brief, you reach the river's mouth and follow it for a stretch. Then you anchor the ship and together, with Godude and 5 orcs, you start searching the swamp. The first day passes quickly. As the sun sets, you stop in a drier clearing to arrange the camp. The orc in charge of the goblin transport drops the heavy cage from his shoulders, causing the goblins to din. Let's just go to sleep. You settle down and prepare dinner over a bonfire. Godude talks about tomorrow's plan. You will enter the lizard men's territory. You should be fine, thanks to the goblin prisoners. You arrange the night watch and go to sleep. When you wake the next morning, you reach for your staff and march onward. As you venture deeper into the swamp, you hear loud roars in the distance. "Dragon! We're getting closer!" Godude yells. You keep walking until the leader from up front motions everyone to stop. All the orcs tense and prepare to draw their weapons. You hear a rustle between the trees and water moving around you. Then, massive scaled creatures surface from around you. Lizard men! The lizard men approach silently with rough spears. Godude does not seem worried. The leader turns around in your direction and hits the cage. Then 2 lizard men separate from the group and take the goblins. The lizard men slowly vanish into the swamp. You resume your journey. So we just bribe them. We bribe the lizard men to leave us alone. We're supposed to be controlling their population. Whatever. Another day passes, but you still have not found the dragon's lair. You resume your march at an early hour. You must be close, judging by the destruction around you. You carry on fast until the vanguard yells you to stop. You get close and find the orc struggling, trapped between the crushing lioness? Yeah, crushed between 2 angry lionesses. The orc prays for you to give him a quick death. You all know that going to rescue him would be suicide, thus Godude prepares to hurl a spear. Well, I don't know that. I'm going to set him free. I don't think there's anything you can do for him, the chief answered. The trapped orc moans in pain. Godude makes a sad sigh, then throws his spear into the orc's chest. One final start and the warrior dies as the lionesses keep crushing him. You resume your march. Well, that's kind of sad. I would have hoped we could have saved the poor guy. After a few hours, you find fresh prints. It's the dragon, there's no doubts. I would imagine so. Those prints are probably kind of hard to mistake. You follow the tracks until arriving at the entrance of a mossy cavern. Godude encourages you to keep your eyes open. You enter carefully. You wander for a while, noticing animal remains. Then you hear the sound of bones breaking and smell meat burning. You crouch under a large rock and stick your head out. You see a big green dragon feeding itself. The leader begins a coordinated attack. Listen to the instructions. Tell Godude that a frontal attack is not a good strategy against the dragon. I'm just going to listen to him. He's the one that's been hunting stuff for a living, and imagine he's a warrior. Let him do it. As soon as Godude explains his plan, the orcs move to make it happen. The first orc of the group leaves the hiding place, but a jet of flames incinerates him at once. Oh, crap. I smelled you once you entered my lair, the deep voice says. Is it proper to enter someone's home without introducing yourself? Show yourselves. You glance over the rock to see the dragon standing on its paws. Paws? Dragon paws? Well, I mean, I guess paws would make sense. With black smoke coming out of its nostrils. You leave your cover. The dragon looks at you up and down with interest. His gaze lingers on you. Welcome to my humble home. Who are you? What are you looking for? I'm looking for a way to get the hell out of here because you just incinerated an orc for stepping out of cover, and yet I just stepped out of cover and you want to talk to me. Maybe you just don't like orcs. I don't know. Confess your expedition's ends, start negotiating with the dragon, flatter the dragon, or threaten the dragon. You know what? I'm just going to be honest. We're here because you're a problem. Please don't kill me. You say you are an adventurer accompanied by the valiant warriors of the Bloody Sail clan. You were sent to end the dangers caused by him. You're honest, and you are very brave to tell me that you are here to stop me, but I truly do not understand what harm you are talking about. I recently woke up, and I am eating to make myself pretty. Male dragons like us... What? Male dragons like us fat. You're explaining the problem of the nearby cities, but the dragon will not stop without having something in exchange. Okay, so... the dragon just changed sexes. Because it said he a second ago. Now it's saying that male dragons like us fat. Which, that'd be fine if, homosexual dragons, that's fine. But now it says, say if she cooperates, she can avoid fighting with you. So... okay, well, that's probably just a typo, but that's fine. So if she cooperates, she can avoid the fight with you. I don't think she's really worried about fighting me. Say the king will send an army if she does not cooperate. Now that's a good threat. Promise huge riches for her cooperation. She's a dragon. What does she care about money? Well, let's see. What woke you up? It's the mating season. I smell dragon everywhere. There must be several around. It's like their smell impregnated the water, the soil, and the trees. And I don't even feel other females' presence. Oh, get all the men to herself. All this is definitely due to the accident caused by the wood druids. No dragons were spotted in any other areas of the kingdom. You notice the dragon is now more relaxed. This might be the right moment to make your offering. You know what? The king's gonna send an army if you don't leave, or cooperate, or whatever. You tell the dragon that not facing a whole army is a great offer, but the dragon thinks differently. Is that so? Then I better decimate his troops. Oh, crap. The dragon turns and lashes at you with his tail. See, now it's his tail again. Would you make up your mind? You avoid the blow, but the large rock behind you is smashed to pieces. The orcs begin fighting by hurling their javelins against the dragon. Okay, so we had 6 orcs. 1 orc died to the lions, and 1 orc got incinerated upon stepping out. So there's still 4 orcs plus me. You know what? Let's take it on. Let's fight. Oh, mayhaps that was a bad decision. You fight valiantly and tenaciously until you tire the dragon out. The beast is obliged to leave its nest and fly off to recover. You see it flying rapidly away in the clouds. Great job, pals, Godude yells. We hope it learned its lesson. You heal your wounds before heading home. Oh, cool! Haha! I think I won? I won! Yay! The dragon won't be a bother anymore and will remember you for a while. And new race stashed. We have unlocked the orc. Oh, we've got orcs now. Oh, we've got orcs and we've got clerics. Okay, so yep, and 150 bucks. Hooray! Alright, so I have pressed my luck, and pressed my luck, and pressed my luck. I'm done. I'm done. I have unlocked orcs and I've unlocked clerics, and if I were to die now, then I would lose that progress. And therefore, I am going to retire this character. And we are going to go ahead and just accept this. And with that, we have retired our human hunter, and we have unlocked the orc species. As a matter of fact, let's just real quick look. The orc species... here we go. The orc species starts with 2 power, 1 wit, and 1 cunning. Do we still have a point? Yes, we do. Okay, so it basically is a free point for being in that. Or elves start with 1, 2, and 1, and dwarves start with 1, 1, and 2. Okay. Well, anyway, we can now play as orcs, and we can now play temple? Yep, as a cleric. Sweet. But we're not going to do that, because I'm going to keep playing this, but we're going to end the series here. I think you guys got a pretty good feel for what this game is about. I actually pretty well recommend it. One of the first things I'm going to do is try to go back and do the Dragon Quest first, and see if that changes the way I interact with the elves in the Poisoned Water quest. Maybe I can unlock the elf class by doing that. I'm not really sure, but I am going to find out. And I would recommend that you should also try this. It's a really fun game, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. But that's it for this one. Next Wednesday, I have a couple ideas for what game I'm going to play next Wednesday, but I haven't finalized the ideas yet. So we're just going to go ahead and call this one done, and next Wednesday we will try something new. So until next time, this is Jeronitis signing off for Just One Line. like, subscribe, and help spread the gaming.